Hello and welcome to CTV News across Canada for Tuesday, February 10th. We've got the top local stories from coast to coast. Stories that affect you and the country. Thanks for joining us.
Despite the travel advisories, many Montrealers are still traveling to Cuba, some crossing their fingers everything goes to plan.
So far, everything is good, and nothing is missing. It's a small hotel, Sol Caribe Beach, and yeah, I hope everything will be okay.
If they pay me the hotel for 2 months, I say all include, why I'm worried?
Cuba is facing a severe fuel shortage after Venezuela stopped supplying the island nation with oil under pressure from Washington. The Cuban government warning international airlines its airports will run out of jet fuel by Tuesday.
It is a crisis for Cuba. Cuba depends significantly on tourism dollars.
Air Canada has cancelled all its southbound flights and says it will fly empty planes to Cuba to pick up its 3,000 clients currently on the island. WestJet and Sunwing will continue flying travelers south, but are offering full refunds for cancellations for the rest of the month. Planes operating from Canada to Cuba are able to fly round trip without refueling. Mathieu Wallace is a travel agent specializing in Cuba. He says some hotels on the island are closing, but tourists are being relocated to other hotels with enough food and electricity.
I've seen people that went from one resort to another, and there was about 300 tourists that were redirected to that hotel.
He says if you do plan to travel, to be ready to adjust your plans and to pack enough medication for an extended stay. On the ground, there is real concern about Canadian tourism dollars drying up.
That's the way they live. That's their first, all the money is coming from, most of it.
Anne Pronovo returned to Montreal from Cuba on Friday and says the local population is struggling.
It's terrible what's happening to them. They don't deserve that. Nobody deserves that.
The Government of Canada is advising travelers who still intend to go to exercise a high degree of caution, to expect power outages and shortages of food, water, and medication. The government also warns that the situation is unpredictable and could deteriorate further on short notice. Matt Gilmore, CTV News.
For 2 years to get to this, and it just still feels like it just happened.
It's been nearly 2 years since Sherry Lunt's sister was killed. Cassandra Gartner drove over a spike belt intended for a U-Haul that was on the run from police. She was inspecting tire damage when the U-Haul hit her, seconds before it hit another vehicle head-on.
She was all about community. She always wanted to give back. Every part of my life that I enjoy, I now have to figure out how to do it without her.
Over the course of a 3-week-long trial, a Crown prosecutor presented evidence intending to prove Peter Ashby was the person behind the wheel of the U-Haul. Today, the justice ruled the man seen in this video and the person driving the U-Haul is Ashby.
Unfortunately, there are no good outcomes in a case like this because regardless of the outcome, Cassandra Gartner is still gone. But we hope that this outcome assists her family, friends, and her community in taking one step further in that healing journey.
Ashby was found guilty of 7 of 10 charges, including dangerous driving causing death, dangerous driving causing bodily harm, and flight from police.
Okay, just reversed and rammed one of your members, guys.
He was also found guilty of assaulting a police officer after ramming a cruiser and guilty of stealing a car with a child inside. The child was dropped off later unhurt.
Now that we know the facts, we will look to see what a fit and proper sentence is and vigorously argue that before the court.
I think that he should be held accountable to the maximum allotment, but realistically, I know it's not going to happen because the Canadian judicial system isn't fair.
They'll be back in court later this month to set a date in the future for sentencing. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Wetaskiwin.
Cars coming up behind.
They're bombshell allegations of corruption, bribery, conspiracy to commit murder, and drug trafficking involving Toronto police.
This is amongst the greatest betrayals that I've ever seen in my career.
The revelations of Project South and the arrest of 7 current and 1 former Toronto police officer have upended public trust.
Without that trust, it's almost impossible to serve your communities.
The fractures so deep, Ontario's Inspector General of Policing is launching an unprecedented review. not just of Toronto Police.
We'll look at the entire sector across Ontario. Once the inspection is complete, the inspector will provide a findings report, which we will make public.
The monumental task of digging into every police service in the province will be done by someone yet to be hired, a movement to ensure
that this work is focused, that it is the top priority and only priority of this individual.
It adds some distance, too. Teschner is a former executive on the Toronto Police Services Board and swore in the current chief.
I think it's crucial right off the bat to make sure that if whoever they do decide to bring in, that is people or persons that have nothing to do with Ontario.
It's not clear when this new investigator will start their work.
That's a huge task. I mean, the OPP has 165 reporting locations alone.
The Toronto Police Chief welcomes the expanded scope triggered by Project South.
I'll be seeking the suspension without pay for 6 of the 7 members who have been alleged to have committed criminal offenses.
He is making some adjustments.
There's some very high-performing staff sergeants and sergeants have been reassigned to 12th Division effective immediately.
And Toronto Police say they'll continue to be proactive to root out corruption.
We'll be getting recommendations as the work progresses and can begin implementing improvements right away.
Thank you so much.
Rather than wait for a report that could be years away. Tonight, the union speaking for Toronto police officers worries that this investigation might be overly broad. Their president writes in a statement that he doesn't want his members to be collateral damage for the bad acts of a few. He says that the Toronto Police Association must have a seat at the table through this process. Reporting live from Queen's Park, I'm Siobhan Morris. Nathan and Michelle, back to you.
Well, thank you, Siobhan.
As federal workers prepare to spend more time in the office, a warning from Canada's largest public sector union.
Currently, the conditions within the offices are horrendous. There's still issues with the buildings. There's bed bugs, pests. We're talking about mice, bats. There's just issues with the actual setup, and there's not enough space.
This comes after a new directive was issued last week requiring most federal public service workers to be in the office 4 days a week as of July 6th.
We know that they've grown by tens of thousands of people since the pandemic, and we know that they've downsized space. So we're concerned that the math equation might not be working.
Commercial real estate expert Sean Hamilton says the government needs a strategy and a plan.
There is a solution that the federal government could offer, high quality space to its workforce by leasing space from the private sector, essentially taking the space back that they divested of.
The federal budget outlined a plan for Public Services and Procurement Canada to reduce its office portfolio by 50% over the next 10 years. In a statement, the department says given the increase of on-site presence for employees, the reduction target will be adjusted accordingly. Planning in this regard is underway. The new in-office mandate prompting PSAC to file an unfair labor practice complaint.
People's mental health has been impacted, and now they're told, by the way, we're changing your working conditions and you're required to come in 4 days a week. It doesn't make sense.
Katie Griffin, CTV News.
Lineups are long and many signatures are being gathered, but support for Alberta to separate from Canada doesn't appear to be widespread.
It's the intensity factor here that I think really stands out. Right now, the intensity is with the stay side as opposed to the leave side.
The Angus Reid Institute polled 979 Albertans online from February 2nd to the 6th. It found 29% of people would vote for Alberta independence, while 65% would vote to stay in Canada.
That number is 7 times larger than the number of Albertans who say they would definitely vote to leave.
But those pushing for an independent Alberta say it's time to break free from federal policies they say are harmful and gain full control of the province's resources.
My response is that it's a phony poll. The mood in Alberta and what's going on in Alberta is what's being demonstrated by all of the events and signings, the signing events.
Rath suggests some of that support is coming from those within the provincial government, but says UCP MLAs are being muzzled.
We want to make sure that Ottawa pays attention to Alberta, that Ottawa hears Albertans, but we are supporting United Alberta within United Canada.
Those against leaving worry about the province being landlocked and losing key Canadian programs and infrastructure.
I think there's no need to separate Canada, as great as it is, and I love Canada.
I really don't think it's good because we support everybody in Alberta. You know, Alberta supports most of Canada with workers, oil, whatnot.
Like there's 70% people that don't think it's a right idea, but they don't like it. There's BC. There's, you know, move out there if you want.
35,000 people walked through Manitoba Ag Days in Brandon between January 20th to the 22nd. Now the province is warning they may have been exposed to measles, with health officials confirming at least 6 cases linked to the event so far.
It's super concerning.
Microbiologist Dr. Philip Legacy-Ween says this has the potential to be a super spreader event.
About 90% of people who are susceptible to the measles virus who get into a closed space with an infected person will themselves become infected.
It's the latest exposure for the province that's been struggling to keep measles at bay for more than a year.
When we're starting to see hundreds of cases annually, we know we're going to start seeing some severe complications, including potentially deaths and ICU admissions.
So how did we get here? Measles was first eliminated in Canada back in 1998, but that changed with a new outbreak that started in October 2024. Legacy-Ween says the original cases were likely picked up during travel outside of Canada and brought into communities with low vaccine rates. From there, cases started to climb, and Canada officially lost its measles elimination status in November of last year. Now, provincial data is showing 74 confirmed cases of measles and 8 probable cases in Manitoba so far this year, the highest in the country.
In the 25 years before this outbreak started, we had 18 cases. And, you know, in a single week, recently, we have more than that.
Provincial Medical Officer of Health Dr. Devinder Singh says uptake of the measles vaccine has been dropping for years.
Our lowest rates of uptake are in Southern Health Santé Sud, where we've seen the largest number of cases.
He says this has left many people, particularly children, unprotected.
Ultimately, we want at least 95% of people to be immunized with at least 1, preferably 2 doses to get that highest level of protection.
And until that happens,
we're in this for the long run.
We were thrilled to hear the Government of Canada announce that we would be launching a bid to be the headquarters of this new bank.
Vancouver officially in the running to be the host city for the new Defence, Security and Resilience Bank. Premier David Eby says hosting it in BC would lead to great economic advantages.
Whether you're talking about our physical location as the gateway to Pacific allies, located directly between NATO nations and Pacific allies, whether you're talking about the skilled workers that are here in British Columbia, whether you're talking about our climate that ensures that travel can happen year-round.
The DSRB is a newly created multilateral institution for NATO and its allies. The province says it would create approximately 3,500 high-paying jobs and bring global visibility to BC.
British Columbians understand that our national security and defense capabilities matter more now than ever. The Defense, Security Resilience Bank is designed to support industries that are crucial to our shared safety and economic security.
Vancouver isn't the only Canadian city in the running. Toronto and Montreal are putting forward proposals as well. But Eby believes BC has the advantage and that it's not just investors who stand to benefit from those many projects.
We're investing in British Columbians so their wages can go up, so they can meet the cost of living challenges that they're facing.
The DSRB is expected to be fully established by the end of this year and include up to 40 member countries. Now it's up to Ottawa to decide who will be the host city. Yasmin Gandam, CTV News, Vancouver.
chaos on the roads in Lambton County.
This is probably the worst I've ever faced.
A massive snow event with high winds hit west of London, closing the 402 and stranding motorists.
I ended up getting stuck there for just a little over 9 hours.
Several roads from London to Sarnia were impassable because of the drifting snow.
Snowbanks are about 4 to 5 feet tall on each side of the highway. So drivers, if you are traveling with the heavy winds and blowing snow, you may run into visibility issues, whiteout conditions.
There were more than 150 911 calls in the queue. Lambton County set up a command center.
From our end, they're kind of looking where they are, right? If there's people trapped in anywhere. And so it's a good way to do it with the drone. You can fly over and see what's going on there.
Andrew Lundy says he was stuck for more than 6 hours.
They said, yeah, if you've got a decent amount of gas, just keep your engine running, and I cleared away the tailpipe so I wasn't going to die of carbon monoxide. And I just waited.
He remained stranded until 5 Samaritans helped free him when daylight arrived, but he still couldn't get home.
There are no roads that will take me home that are open. There's a few that aren't officially closed but are impassable. There are cars that are stopped and they're saying, like, don't come down here.
OPP, fire, and local residents with snowmobiles and four-wheel drive trucks helped motorists to area community centers. Warwick Township Mayor Todd Case told CTV News by phone this is the biggest snowstorm since the infamous Snowmageddon in 2010.
This is nothing like that was. We were literally here stranded for 3 or 4 days, but this doesn't even hold a candle to that. But we have roads within our community that are shut down in both directions, so there's really not a path for anybody to go anywhere.
Lundy says this may have been worse than 16 years ago.
I called the OPP. I told the guy what was going on. He said he's been here 25 years and he has never seen it worse, including 2010.
Motorists were trapped for hours and tow companies were busy with reports of more than 300 cars in the ditch.
It was quite the experience, that's for sure.
Sunday morning, nearly 2 days later, the entire highway was reopened. Brent Lale, CTV News.
Today is my 5th time.
It's probably only about 5.
97.
Whether it's your first or 100th time, Canadian Blood Services is encouraging everyone to donate blood and plasma as soon as they can.
We're just wanting to ensure that we can keep up with the demand that the hospitals are needing.
Donations are down everywhere.
In the next 2 weeks in Kitchener-Waterloo alone, we have over 500 appointments open and available to book into. So that's a potential for over 500 units of blood to be collected, and they're sitting vacant.
The winter weather playing a large role in people canceling their appointments or not wanting to book and leave their house at a time when the need is greater than ever.
When there's icy road conditions, there are more accidents and car crashes and things that would cause the hospitals to need more blood for emergent cases as well.
Some people say they were simply unaware of the process.
I didn't know anything about this growing up or when I was younger, and it never entered my mind to think about it.
Others started showing up because of a personal connection.
A long time ago when my brother was born, he needed blood transfusions. My mom can't donate, but my dad has always donated. And I used to go with him as a high school student.
I have a brother-in-law that's had a lot of blood transfusions. So do it for people like that.
Whatever the reason, organizers say people's generosity could help save a life.
You're helping your community, you're giving back, and you're also doing something for yourself, something that makes you feel good.
Today I'm here donating blood for the first time, and Canadian Blood Services say they need more people to do the same. So they've launched a campaign with an incentive they also hope will be appealing. The Give and Getaway initiative lets donors enter for a chance to win 2 round-trip tickets to any Air Canada scheduled destination.
If you donate one time, you can enter once. If you donate twice in that time period, you can enter twice. If you add a stem cell registry sign up in there, you get a bonus entry.
Regular donors say it's worth any reservations people may have when thinking about the bigger picture.
There's nothing hard about it. It doesn't hurt you. All you're doing is helping people. It's a win-win-win-win-win, right?
The Waterloo Donation Clinic is on Bridgeport Road and is open Monday to Saturday. Anyone interested in giving can call 1-888-2-DONATE, head to blood.ca, or download the Give Blood app.
That's why today we are very proud to announce that our government has approved an investment of up to $9.3 million in your company, Kumi. Congratulations.
an overwhelming response from Kumi employers as Federal Minister Evan Solomon announces an investment into their company.
So this kind of investment gives us the ability to improve our efficiencies, improve our technology so that we can be the most efficient, best valued supplier to our customers.
Kumi, a major supplier of injection molding and assembly products, granted the loan to improve their manufacturing plant amid trading tensions with the United States.
Every time there's a new model, you have to bid for the business over again. So it's like starting from zero. So we're not just trying to grow, but we're trying to maintain the jobs that we already have here.
Kumi also supplies Honda Canada manufacturing, with more than 75% of their products staying right here in Ontario.
Bringing more funds to Simcoe County, to Bradford, to the area, because it's important. Honda's in our area. These are suppliers for Honda, and we want to make sure that we keep Honda here, we keep these suppliers going, and those investments are going to make that happen.
The federal government taking notice and investing in the automotive industry, helping local businesses continue to make competitive products.
By investing in the companies that are the best in the world, best workforce in the world, most advanced workforce in the world, producing the best products in the world, and that's the way we're going to stay competitive.
With more investment means more people willing to spend their money in Bradford, leaving local businesses happy.
We've got a smaller community that's growing at a rapid pace, and having more investment in the town has allowed us an opportunity to be able to have jobs in town, keep folks from leaving and staying here to be able to actually get work.
Population here in Bradford is growing exponentially throughout the years, and more customers are going to come in, simple as that.
Today's loan announcement allows Kumi to hire an additional 60 employees as it aims to move its manufacturing plant to more automation. Luke Samar, CTV News, Bradford.
A 27-year-old nursing student from Weyburn is currently in hospital recovering from a life-altering stroke. 3 weeks ago, Shanice Austria woke up unable to use the left side of her body. She couldn't speak or get out of bed.
And the doctor came and told me that it's a very, very bad one, and it's a very rare one. It's just, I said, can we have it prevented it before it's happening? And he said no.
Austria is a practical nursing student at Southwest College who was scheduled to graduate in June. According to one of her instructors, she is a hardworking and vibrant student. Her current absence has not only impacted her peers, but those teaching Austria as well.
We're trying to teach them to try and make a difference in our healthcare system. We're never expecting for one of them to kind of take the role as a patient, helping the other students kind of process some things, of negative things that can happen in our profession, has been something that we've just had to process as a group.
Around the time of her stroke, Austria was dealing with a severe headache, one of the warning signs of a stroke, but she brushed it off due to her history of headaches. Other signs of a stroke can visibly be seen.
Facial drooping and weakness on one side of the body, slurred speech, and if any of those are noticed in someone that you're around, your family, friends, coworkers, call 911.
For those experiencing a stroke, time is everything, and Austria says not to ignore the signs.
Even a tiniest symptoms, just go, because you never know that this will happen. Because I always dismiss this. Strokes is now that I didn't even know that stroke can strike anyone, regardless of age or gender.
Austria is taking her rehabilitation one day at a time. Meanwhile, a fundraising page has been set up for her as she is a primary provider for her family. Mick Favel, CTV News, Regina.
It's still quiet on campus a day after Laurentian's faculty accepted a new collective agreement and ended its 15-day strike. But when classes will resume is still unknown.
This was only phase one. We have a legal challenge, a charter challenge. We are confident we will be vindicated. And the preparation for the next round of bargaining starts today.
According to the Laurentian University Faculty Association, about 74% of its members voted in favor of ratifying the new deal, which will see salary increases over the next 3 years. Although there were some gains, the union says Laurentian failed to rebuild trust. LUFA's president calls the provincial government a ghost at the table, since the school still has stipulations from a government bailout loan that the union says made it impossible to negotiate fairly.
There was a limit Laurentian could not exceed in bargaining. Our analysis was that limit was reached, and so that's what we share with our members.
The president of Laurentian disagrees.
There were two parties to this agreement, the university and the faculty association. We bargained in good faith at the table. And we arrived at a deal between the two parties.
In a statement to CTV News, the Ministry of Colleges, Universities, Research Excellence and Security says in part, our government will continue to be there to support a strong, stable and world-class post-secondary system across Ontario.
We're very excited to get the students back. We've missed them, and we know that there's a lot to do to get them caught up, but we're committed to doing that.
Now that the deal is ratified and the strike is over, the faculty members are due back to work tomorrow. As for when classes will resume, Laurentian Senate is set to meet on Wednesday to determine the new condensed academic calendar, including what to do about next week's reading break. Angela Gemmell, CTV News, Sudbury.